Hello students, get ready. Start. 1. The Madras High Court has recently observed that a live-in relationship between a married man and an unmarried woman was not one in the nature of marriage giving rights to the parties. The court added that, in the absence of any codified law, the live-in partner could not seek any succession or inheritance of the property of the other part. It, thus, refused relief to a man who had entered into a live-in relationship with a woman despite being married. The court noted that a relationship in the nature of marriage required that the couple held themselves out in the society, akin to spouses voluntarily cohabited, must be of legal age to marry, and must be otherwise qualified to enter into marriage. The court noted that, since the man's marriage with his wife still existed at the time of the live-in relationship, the live-in relationship could not be termed as one in the nature of marriage. 2. The court was hearing an appeal by Jaya Chandran, who was in a live-in relationship with one Margaret Arulmoji. Jaya Chandran was married to one Stella and had 5 children from the marriage. Jaya Chandran had executed a settlement deed in favor of Margaret, which was unilaterally cancelled following Margaret's death. The issue related to possessing a property that Arulmoji had settled in Margaret's name. The trial court noted that, since Jayachandran and Margaret's marriage was not converted into a legitimate marriage, the respondent Yesuranthanam, Margaret's father, was entitled to the decree of title. The court, thus, directed Jayachandran to deliver possession of the property. Jayachandran then preferred an appeal against this decision of the trial court. On appeal, Jayachandran argued that he had divorced his first wife Stella under customary ways, following which he started the relationship with Margaret. He also informed that he had executed the settlement deed in favor of Margaret for her security. He contended that the trial court failed to notice that Margaret, in her service records, had nominated Jayachandran for pensionary and other service benefits as her husband. He added that, after Margaret's death, he should have been treated as her husband, and the trial court had erred in treating him only as a living relationship. The court noted that, unlike Hindu Marriage Act, which also recognized the caste system, the Indian Divorce Act did not recognize any such system nor any customary form of divorce. The court thus held that, in the absence of recognition of any customary divorce, it could not accept Jayachandran's plea that he had customarily divorced his wife, Stella. The court thus noted that, in the absence of any positive evidence of divorce, the relationship between Jayachandran and Margaret could not loom large into the legal status of husband and wife. The court noted that the Indian Christian Marriage Act recognized the principle of monogamy, as per which his first marriage existed. 3. With respect to Jayachandran being nominated as the beneficiary in service records, the court noted that the same would not mean that Jayachandran was the legal heir. Noting that such nomination was only a self-declaration, the court held that, merely because of such description, Margaret could not be called the legally wedded wife of Jayachandran. Thus, noting that the live-in partner could not seek any succession or inheritance of property, in the absence of codified law, the court upheld the trial court's decision and dismissed the appeal. Thank you, students. Over.